Welcome back, IWC community. Welcome back, Twitter universe. Welcome back, YouTubers and all social media. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. And I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Chaos Corner, show number 19, live to tape, same day coverage. You never know when I'm going to show up here. That's why you have to hit the button for all the reminders for when I'm going to throw on live content. 2 or 3 times a week, I'm here for live Chaos Corner. But I just recently put up on the YouTube channel some classic Big Daddy Hour, Big Daddy Show footage from 20 years ago. You're not going to want to miss it. We're already starting off with technical issues here on show number 19. Let's crank up the solar and see what we have going on. Fans, stay with me. Don't go anywhere. Live to tape. Show number 19. We have to get this going. We're on Twitter right now. You're going to have to hit my profile link. That'll bounce you over to the YouTube channel. So obviously, it's at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. And you got to follow my boys over at The Show. They're there to put you over. If you don't follow them to put over your content, I don't know what you're doing. So stand by. We're bouncing over to YouTube. I want you to stay here. It's Monday. The winter's coming. It's cold down here in the bowels of the earth. You can see the Wi-Fi and the internet's going crazy already. That's why I'm still prepared as a patriot, as an American, just in case something happens. You never know. So stand by. Stay tuned. Go over to YouTube. We got a hell of an episode. We're covering everything you can think of. Everything pro wrestling and a lot of memorabilia. Don't you dare miss it. Fans, welcome over to YouTube. You can see we're having problems already. So stand by. The chains are falling off already. Show number 18, same day coverage, live to tape. Let's see what we have going on here. We're off to a crazy start here on show number 19. But we want to make sure that we're having fun. That's actually what it's all about. You see how I'm representing, right? My boy from Off the Script, the #1 fucking podcaster on YouTube, and that's JD from New York. And if you're not watching Off the Script and his coverage of the WWE and especially AEW Dynamite reviews with my boy from Chicago, the Chi-Town Smark, Jesse, I don't know what you're doing. And then, of course, the legendary moderator over there at Off the Script, and that would be Hoot Media. Hoot, can you help me out here, Hoot Media? I know you guys are going to see this. JD and Jesse were talking about yours truly on AEW Dynamite on the last review. Over 40,000 views. Go back and check it out for the super chats at the end of the show, and you'll hear Jesse and JD from Off the Script talking about the Guardian of Chaos. It doesn't get any better than that here. Live to tape, show number 19. JD, this is in your honor, you and Jesse. See, I'm not one of those haters that won't recognize others. You're down with everybody else. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to compete against anyone. I'm here to compete against myself and put out entertainment for the viewers. Here from Chaos Corner. And baby, it's cold outside. So stand by, stand by. We're only 5 minutes in. Don't go anywhere. Let me see what I got. Or should I say what we have? Let's be politically correct here. At least with the language, not with anything else. The hell with the censors. They can throw me off the air. The hell with the FCC. Censorship. Don't get me started here on show number 19. I think we have something. Think we have something? Don't change the channel. It's not a radio station. Muy caliente. I used to watch that on Saturdays. Let me tell you something. Behind the Walls, Caliente on Saturday was the hottest show behind the walls. #1 rated, as was Chaos Corner at one time. That's right, from Yale to jail, from coast to coast, from border to border, from 95 to 91. It doesn't matter. You're watching Chaos Corner on YouTube. This is what you get, unedited, unscripted. I haven't even talked about pro wrestling yet. All right. Hold on here. Let's see. Okay. Let's get some levity back. Let's get back to the show, to the task at hand. I want to welcome everybody into Chaos Corner, show number 19, fresh off of last night's War Games. Now, I know a lot of people watched War Games. I did too. I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. I will say that. And I'm very, very, very impressed. That's right. The chains are omnipresent, as usual, here on Chaos Corner. I'll give this show last night probably a solid 7. The women's match was okay. I guess it was the placement of the card wasn't as bad as I thought. It really wasn't for a whole lot, but I will say one thing. Adam Cole looked tremendous last night. It was very entertaining, and I'm impressed with Pat McAfee, how this guy does it. A lot of people talk shit about McAfee. You want to talk about the WWE product and the crossover. You heard McAfee say it himself. He would never want to go, not that he's qualified yet to go to the top of the roster on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, but he likes NXT because of Triple H and the creativity. So I'll say last night's War Games, to begin here on Chaos Corner, show number 19, it was a solid show. It really was, and that leads me into what we have going on this week. It's going to be a big week of wrestling, fans. As you well know, it's going to be a big week. Tonight, Monday Night Raw. I will not watch Monday Night Raw. Now, I'll listen to JD, as you can see. I'll listen to his live preview. I'll listen to a couple of other podcasters out there that I'm friends with. I don't want to throw a whole bunch of names out there, but you know the usuals, from Wrestling With Anything But to Busted Open Radio to Don Tony to a work in progress. I say it all the time, Hannibal TV. You guys know that. And I listen to the big stars too. But this week, Monday Night Raw, I won't watch. I'll listen to the live chats and podcasts. I really will. Even Boston Wrestling, boy, they're putting a lot of crazy things out there up there in Boston with Dan Marotti and Boston Wrestling. Have you seen the episodes with Marty Jannetty and the Nasty Boys, his Sobs and Nags? Go back and check it out. You're not going to want to miss it. So, War Games was decent. I said it, 7 out of 10. That's not what this show is going to be out. We're going to, again, try to keep it under an hour here. Hit the like button, subscribe, retweet, put it on Instagram, Rumble, Parler, whatever social media platform that you're on, Twitch, the whole 9 yards, because this is same day live to tape. And yes, because it is sunny out, although it is cold, it's very sunny, so we were lucky enough to get a half dozen people down here into the bowels. I enjoyed that. We even have some viewer mail, because besides the opening here, my opening monologue, we're going to cover a lot of personal questions, because certain people here today want to hear about my career and some memorabilia and stuff they found down here in Chaos Corner. So we're going to attempt to go through it. Again, War Games, I said it, I'm saying it again, 7 times, 7 out of 10. I'll give you a 7 out of 10, if you know what I mean, for all the female listeners. And speaking of that, I will listen tonight to Bourbon Soaked Live with my good friends Juliet Miranda and David, the producer, over on YouTube. So go out and listen to Juliet Miranda. Subscribe to their channel. Bourbon Soaked Live tonight will be on. As will, obviously, a Wrestling With Anything But podcast. I already said that. I'm putting people over here. 10 minutes in, I've been screwing around for the first 10 minutes. So it leads us into tomorrow night, fans, because this will be up today. As I said, tomorrow night you have AEW Dark, which is going to lead into a big Wednesday night. I keep telling you about Dark on YouTube. You may not have the time. You go back and watch it when you're bored, or when you're watching dinner, on your way to work, when you're on your break, whatever it is. You could pause it, stop it. Some of the storylines will go from there, and some of the stars, which will lead into Dynamite. But tomorrow night, Impact. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Not only you have the whole storylines going on with the great talent over there at Impact, and I'm interested in Willie Mack and Moose and Chris Bay and Deonna Purrazzo and Taya. There's a lot of different things going on over at Impact. But Omega, Don Callis, what is going to happen tomorrow night on Impact on Access? Now, you'll be able to see some of it on Twitter and on social media, and if you have certain cable companies have Access TV, but it's going to be interesting to see the fallout from last week's, the winter is here, the war is coming, so again, a lot of things to look forward to, and then, of course, MLW. Another big thing, the Opera Cup is continuing, and tomorrow I have a personal connection to both men. Richard Holiday, you're breathing rarefied air as I'm talking to you about Richard Holiday, the most marketable man in wrestling, the current Caribbean heavyweight champion. No me jodan, maricón, muévete culo, to all my friends out there, el gallo tres huevos. Don't get offended. Nobody get offended. So there we go from there. AEW Dynamite. We said it. MLW. Holiday and Low Key, who I worked with in other companies years ago, the one-man warrior. It's going to be an unbelievable bout. It's in the semifinals. Okay, tomorrow night. And fans, if you have no interest in that, then I don't know how you're still continuing to be a wrestling fan. Major League Wrestling, Court Bauer is back. They're doing back. They're doing good things. So there's going to be a lot of things. And not only that, not only Holiday, who was the former Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, a guy that I even did color commentary work with, Richard Holiday, Roma trained, Mancini brained. Not only against Low Key is that worth the price of admission tomorrow for the Opera Cup. The Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, who personally, we follow each other on social media. I know it doesn't mean anything. I'm just throwing it out there. So we do have a connection. And with Dad Kevin, tomorrow the Von Erichs put the tag team titles on the line against the Contra unit. And we know that's Simon Gotch and Jacob Fatu. And fans, you already know my legendary connection with the Samoan dynasty. So just for those matches alone, and so that's what we have going forward into this week. Don't forget that even Ring of Honor tonight, because this will be up before it airs, not only is the Fallout show tonight from last night's NXT War Games, I'm sure they'll mention it somehow tonight on Raw, although who the hell knows what they're doing. There also will be Ring of Honor tonight, the watch-along party. I may be involved. I'm not sure what my schedule will be like, but we'll see what happens. So Ring of Honor tonight, we'll have a watch-along party with all the stars and all the different things that are going on of Ring of Honor, who's back now, and they're doing good things too. So the first opening monologue here, 10, 15 minutes in, we were screwing around, but we talked a little bit about brief impressions of War Games last night in NXT. Listen, there's a lot of great stars. There's a lot of things that I could talk about. The North of Ciampa and last night against Thatcher. What a snug, hard-hitting match. If you can't appreciate a Ciampa versus Thatcher match, unbelievable last night. That's pro wrestling in the ring. That's working snug, working hard. So let me feel it, putting it in there. Men who have earned it or qualified. So I was very impressed with that as well. And I'm a big Damian Priest fan too. That this guy is unbelievable, and he is the future. I hope they don't ruin him if he ever gets to the main roster. But so those are my impressions coming out of War Games. I told you I'm a McAfee fan. A lot of people talking shit about him. He's a clown, Sirius XM. He's a Barstool Sports guy, a college guy, whatever. He plays to the over 50 demo god, which is me. This may be the IWC demo god, the number one fucking podcaster right here I'm wearing on my chest, JD. Okay, and I'm no shill, and I don't kiss anybody's ass, so you can come at me. I really don't care. But I am the over 50 demo god in this. So we talked about War Games. Tonight will be Raw. Who knows what will happen, whether it be with Alexa Bliss supposedly being the weakness now to The Fiend, which ruins his whole character and a mystique that you were trying to build up. But that's another story for another show. So that's tonight. The watch along for Ring of Honor. Tomorrow you got to watch Impact. AEW Dark, you definitely have to watch Impact and get to Dark when you get over onto YouTube at some point. Wednesday, we know it's going to be an excellent show. There's going to be more stuff between the Inner Circle the heck is that? Between the Inner Circle, MJF, Wardlow, there's going to be a lot of things happening there. There's going to be an ultimatum laying down for AEW. Maybe we'll address it. I don't know when I'll be back on. You know, it's usually a couple of times a week. And then, of course, NXT will be on. And we know that the Sting effect was there. There was over 1 million, 1.1 or 1.2 million viewers for AEW. They gained over 150,000 viewers once Sting hit the airwaves on AEW Dynamite. So it's going to be interesting to see. I may be covering it again with PWZ. There's a Pro Wrestle Zone with the Professor Rick Del Santo. I'm not sure yet. So those are the things that we have looking forward coming up to this week. And again, we mentioned the super cards coming up for Ring of Honor, MLW, Impact, the whole association with Jericho and Omega and AEW. A lot of things to be happy for if you are a wrestling fan right now, if you're in the industry, if you're not in the industry, a journalist, an insider, whatever it is, or just a fan, which is the most important thing in that business and in this industry. There's a lot of things to be thankful for during the pandemic and the continuing product that's going to be put out there and that you can view and watch. So you got to give everybody a lot of credit. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the NWA and supposable mergers and whether they're coming back and who knows what's going on. I've mentioned it on the show number 18 a few days ago. So fans, stay tuned. We got show number 20 coming up. Very impromptu when we come down here to Chaos Corner, although there's always somebody knocking on the doors. So thank you for being here as we come up on, 17, 18 minutes in to give you an update on the current news, current product before we go into some personal things here on Chaos Corner. We're definitely keeping this one under an hour, live to tape, same day coverage, Chaos Corner with your old buddy. And I'll say that to say this. Thanks for being here for show number 19. Again, Parler, Gab, Rumble, Instagram. Fans, I'm not on Facebook. YouTube is the most important. Let's grow this channel. Come here and have some fun. This is what I'm here for. Positivity to get you through all the BS as a distraction. Like a lot of other content creators that I follow get me through the distraction. I'm here to pass my knowledge along. And this is damn near 4 decades. You're going to see. We're going to go through a retrospective of if I ever went through from the early 80s, 1983. We'll do that another time. I'll go back just 20 years of stuff that the fans had handed to me and mailed into me that we're going to go over here on show number 19. Your old buddy. Don't go anywhere. It's not even 20 minutes. Give me some of your time. It's a Monday. We're approaching winter. Stand by. Stand by. Bing, bing, bing. Red Bull. I say it every time. I don't even bother tweeting you anymore, but because I'm still going to drink it and I like the product. On to the task at hand, fans. Here is show number 19. We're almost 19, 20 minutes in. I appreciate you being here, following me. The views and all the different things that are happening on the channel are really expanding. We're getting thousands of views. Fans, there's a lot of stuff that I put up there from the last 30 and 40 years that if you go over to the channel and you take a look, give it a chance, none of them are long videos. With the exception of my Chaos Corner live to tape same day shows, which I try to do a couple of times a week, and you'll get anywhere from a half dozen to 10 free hour-long shows full of content and entertainment here weekly. All the other videos up there, over 500, they're all an average of 2 to 3 minutes. Short watches, analytics, 2 to 3 minutes. Leave a comment, hit the like, get us in the algorithm, and it's good stuff with relevant people that are talented, and it's always entertaining because it's certainly not just all about me, although I'm the feature. Who's that guy that's always in that video? It's yours truly, the GOC. So thank you for being here, and as you know, fans, always wrapped in chains, just like the rest of us right now in this country. I don't want to get crazy and talk about it. I don't, my background, my career. All right, enough chicanery. I got to put it back on now. It's a part of the show. You got to put it on. We got to get it right and crazy. Again, a shout out to the tribal chief, the Messiah, the IWC, whatever you want to call it, my boy, Okay, and yeah, I can respect someone who doesn't have the knowledge of the game that I do because, you know why? Because he tells it like it is, and it's a fair, firm, and consistent viewpoint. And then he's enough to bring in someone like Jesse, who I respect, who tells it like it is. And again, I'm going to make sure you guys see this personally. All right, fans. Here's what we have. We're going to go back to different memorabilia. You saw me opening up with it. I don't know where it went. It was something that was a cross between Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Big Boss Man, and then my own likeness. A friend of mine, the Spider, Danny Quirk, God rest his soul, a young man who ran my website back in the late 90s. Big Daddy doll that was supposed to go into production. It even had the tattoos and everything on there. If you look at it, it was pretty amazing. I lost some of the parts. We only had about maybe 24 in production, but we were gonna go with it. It's a crazy. Where the heck did the rest of it go? But it was a combination of a couple of different dolls. The kid was a genius. God rest his soul. A great wrestler too. He would have been something. Passed away. A true story here. You know, passed away in the ring. As a young man performing, and it's a story that on the independent scene that was out there for years. It happened years ago, but God rest his soul. And I remember him, what a genuine man, a great family that he has, and they just were great people. So that's a. But that was the opening here of where I was a little lost here. I don't always get the signal of show number 19, the Big Daddy doll. So Danny. Now here's from back. I always reference, and I referenced a lot of the clothes of the Big Daddy Clothing Company out of Malvern, Pennsylvania, and my buddy Brandon out there. And it's funny, I made a movie with Brandon David. Brandon was my supervisor here, who this company that sponsored me. I believe they're no longer out of Malvern. They have sold the company, but boy, did they. I used to take an annual, sometimes biannual train out, to, from the Constitution State into the city and take it out to Pennsylvania and stay there for a couple of days and go down to the company and production into the warehouse. And they were so good to me. Whatever you want, sponsorships, appearances. And here on this page right here, and again, I'm going back. We'll start off in 98 and 99, see how far we get through some of the footage here, because it'll take forever. I'll show you some of the highlights, pamphlets, things that I had been with and friends, and things that I kept that are special to me, and that fans and obviously people that have kept that are special to them. So I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody being here. On this page right here, and I'll try to put it up there best we can. This is what we do here, fans. This was from the Big Daddy Clothing Company that was on their site. Mo Lewis from the New York Jets. Leonard Davis from the Arizona Cardinals. Salma Hayek says Papa Grande. The Bodyguards of 98 Degrees. Donovan McNabb from the Philadelphia Eagles. Big Scott and his friends. Michael Strahan. Again, this is the company that did GOC, and I get it before you start asking me what happened to you. I listen, it is what it is. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. Warren Sapp when he was with the Raiders, Jesse Armstead when he was with the Carolina Panthers, Hercules and Big Time, the infamous hip hop artists, Big Bilal and Mariah Carey, Junior Seau, God rest his soul, when he was with Miami, Emmett Smith when he was with Arizona, and of course the Guardian of Chaos, yours truly. And I'll put these up here to see if you can see them, how we all worked. Had the same company, same sponsors, and it was certainly an honor and something that I'll never forget. And I'm just surprised that people still have some of this stuff. You can see right there, Mo Lewis, Warren Sapp, different folks, Mariah Carey, some of the hip-hop artists, Junior Seau. You go over to different ones. You see your boy there on the corner, again, the Guardian of Chaos. Different artists, if you can read them on there. Certainly an honor to be with all these ladies and men. So we were all represented on the same page, so it's a beautiful thing to see. And just different things that fans come up with. And this stuff is 20, 25, some of it 30, and the stuff I have over here are 40 years old. So it's good stuff. Here's something else. This is when it wasn't that long ago. David Giacalo. This might have been 2006, according to the timeline on here. Different women and divas: Christy Hemme, Ivory, the lovely Kara Slice, midget stars, Lil Killer, short sleeve Samson. Again, I'll refer to Bully Ray 20 years ago. Said, give him 5 spots, he'll fuck up 4 of them. Or Jackie Gleason on Honeymooners, hamana. Yes, when you're live, unedited, unscripted, no mute button, this is what it is. This is what you get, raw, live to tape. Sometimes I screw up. On here, under the managers, myself and who I consider to be one of the most influential men, who has also mentored and gave me advice many times over the years, God rest his soul, and that would be Captain Lou Albano. Just to be on the same area with him is just something that I have to throw it out to. The people have brought down to me. So you're looking on there. There it is. Captain Lou Albano, Big Daddy. You see short sleeve, a little killer above us. All this stuff right here, documented, proven, is why I'm thankful, blessed, fortunate, humble, and certainly have nothing to complain about. And it's just different rosters and groups and companies and stuff that we happen to keep and that fans send in at times. And again, if you want to email, it's Chaos Big Daddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. That would be Chaos Big Daddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. Leave a comment down here. You can always inbox me on Twitter. And of course, it's at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. And then, of course, my boys will always get the message to me from at Mario_Chaos over at the show. And now I am heavily active on Parler. Okay, I'm also active on Gab. If you hit the notification button, and now a big account and a lot of pictures. My people are picking it up on Instagram, where you'll see some unbelievable memorabilia. That's what you get on my channel. Not only the live shows that cover the live product, because I'm in tune with the product. 30 and 40 years history of my career and all the people I work with, and then putting other people over, giving the rub, because that's what I like better than anything is the rub. So some interesting stuff. Here is another a flyer you want to say that we came across. Wrestling superstars, former WWF, WCW World Champion Psycho Sid Vicious, ECW World Champion Justin Credible, WWF stars Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Sunny, a.k.a. Tammy Lynn Sitch, yours truly, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, hardcore matches, midget matches, 9 matches in all. It certainly was an event to behold. As you can see, there he is, just incredible, unbelievable. Not only was he in the Click, ECW World Heavyweight Champion, one of the Extreme icons, one of the hardcore originals. There he is, just incredible. Still active for appearances. You also could see there, as you... unbelievable Psycho Sid. This was for a group, NEW at the time, Autumn Ambush. Sid, unbelievable. That night, it was myself and the Jackmaster, John Diamond, against WWE superstar from the Heartthrobs, Romeo Rosselli. So, an unbelievable card, unbelievable night. In this era of where we started here on Chaos Corner in regards to the memorabilia and questions that were set in, and stuff that we found down here in Chaos Corner, like I said a few moments back, we're going back to the late 90s, later 90s, not late night, later 90s. We'll go span 15 years up to about 2008 on this segment here of different things that we had come across with. And at that time, I was working for literally probably 30 different organizations, from the NAWA to Northeast Wrestling to the World Wrestling Association to ISPW to the NWA to Superstars of Wrestling, several NWA territories, AWA Superstars, so many different groups, and Millennium, Assault, Acid, Defiant, groups here locally, groups from around the country, out in Hammond, Indiana, and Chicago and Vegas. And so we were working for all those groups at one time. and these are from those shows and those different events of that era, of when at that point already in my career, it was my probably my third or fourth go round of trying to come back as a manager, commentator, a little bit of everything, still taking a bump, still active, still in the ring, still in great shape, still behind the walls with obligations, but that's neither here nor there. So at that point, I want to say late 30s, way late in the game is when you're already, I thought I had my probably best opportunity early to late 30s of where I actually thought I still had a chance to catch on, not as a full-time grappler, because that was never my game from the beginning, especially when I knew that physically I wasn't able to do it. So that's what we're talking about. And here's another one of the events from one of the people that I worked with. And actually, again, that's why I laugh about it. People say, oh, don't underestimate yourself. Don't ever cut yourself short. And I don't. And always be positive. And I am. And I have faith. And you guys know that I'm very spiritual and have faith. But this was another great night to be able to do an autograph section and pictures with Jerry the King Lawler, the King of Memphis, a guy that I remember as a in my late teens into my early and middle 20s, a guy that I watched in Mid-South and down in Memphis and all the different groups that he worked for into when I was still in the business. And then we worked and appeared, and I'll bet you I must have worked and appeared with Jerry the King Lawler, been at least on, I don't know, 30, maybe 40 shows together in the same locker room with the King, and probably been in the ring with the King at least a half dozen or so times, out to dinner and picked his brain probably ad nauseum to him so many times. It was unbelievable, and a lot of the different things that I learned from Lawler. And he was charging whatever he was charging, but I'll show you. And again, this is years ago, but just to have this on here again. How weird people come up with this. Obviously it's homemade, handmade, but it's truth, it's facts, and it's great to have some of this memorabilia that I'll never forget. And again, it's all about memories, reminiscing, and it's what it's all about for me. That's why being in the Hall of Fames of Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling and their lineage and history, and then, of course, New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, which someone laughed at the other night on a live chat. Look at the names in there and you'll realize how humbling it is. So that's why I'm so appreciative of all this kind of stuff. So we'll throw it up there. There it is. It was in February. Yeah, fans, I realize. I get it. I know. My wife always says I have claws like the boy. I get it. So unbelievable autographs and pictures with Jerry the King Lawler of the WWE and Big Daddy. $15 and $12, and again, I was charging $5. He might have been charging $25, but that's what they originally put out there. So just to have that, I gotta tell you, yeah, I get it, I understand it, I know you're watching, I get it. So yeah, that's great stuff. I appreciate that. Who brought that? Right. Okay. Thank you. Another thing, just. We're in 2020, we're not that far from Christmas. We're a few days out. What is it, next week? And it's actually the official beginning of winter here at Chaos Corner. But that's okay because the sun shines every day, whether it be here or here. So always remember that. And that was my message. If you go back and you heard me on with the legendary Joel and Victoria Osteen. Yes, that's right. The Guardian of Chaos was on with Victoria Osteen. Always doing something legit, shoot, but spiritual and from the heart. Here's a show we're in, like I said, 2020, not that far from the beginning of winter next week. 3 weeks away from Christmas before we're on to 2021. A new year, thank the Lord. It can't come quick enough. But if things don't change, the numbers don't mean anything. The changing of the new year, what does it really mean? And then on into the inauguration and all the different things. And that's another time for another show that I'm sure we'll talk about. I always say that, but I try to keep it positive in pro wrestling. Here was another great event. On this event, Jerry the King Lawler, Jonathan Coachman, Chris Jericho, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, Eminem's Joey Mercury, Juan Xavier, God rest his soul, King Brian Anthony, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, the Outcast Killers, Ron Zombie, Josh Daniels, Jason Blade, or Romeo Rosselli from the Heartthrobs, and of course Velvet Sky, and my old buddy Kurt Adonis. What an event that was that night. They even had a meet and greet, and this isn't that long ago. Again, I say we're going into 2021. This is 2007. Do the math. It's not that long ago. Meet and greets, even at Carvel. I mean, it's so different now with the pandemic and no live crowds and the way the business used to be. You could even say at one time and all the different things, and I show you and run down through here in the different clips and how it was in the independence, even though they say the territories died in the early 90s, maybe middle 90s, I guess. It may have died and people focused on WCW and WWF that turned into WWE and then the ECW explosion. But it was still a territorial system here in this country, very territorial with all the different groups. Back to my resume of how many different promotions that I've worked for. So this was an unbelievable show. I believe on this night, if I'm not mistaken, it was myself and the OCK, Diablo Santiago and Oman Tortuga. You know, we have a long history. One of the greatest tag teams to come out of this area in years, decades. I believe it was against Hale Collins and Vic Delicious. I'm not sure. The Now, who went on to big fame and did a lot of big things here in this area, not only in the Northeast, but in the whole country. The Now, Hale Collins, Vic Delicious, two unbelievable professionals out of this area. I mean, legendary guys. So we'll throw this out here. We'll try not to violate anybody's privacy or policies. I really don't give a shit, to tell you the truth. I know I shouldn't swear on here. I don't like to cuss in case anyone's ever watching, but I tell it like it is. Some of it's in black and white. Fans have given this and sent this to me. Some of it's from my own collection, but this was the tour from 2007. Again, you could see Jerry King Lawler, Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Jonathan Coachman, just to be in the locker room with these guys and to be able to pick their brains and to be able to talk to them and understand their psychology and storytelling and where they've been has been worth the price of admission, whether I ever worked for the front office, New York, or any other territory or country, which, it's been a lot. So just to show you who I've been able to talk with, and the best thing about all that is that every one of these guys and shows and events that I've been on and been a part of and stars that I've worked with were all so kind and fortunate that 9 out of 10 of them, almost to a man, agreed to work and share their knowledge with you. You weren't under contract. You didn't work for the office. You weren't working for WCW or WWF, especially WWF or WWE, so to speak, once they took the F out. So for these guys, years into their career in certain stardom, whether it be TNA, WCW, WWE, or still on the independents themselves, for them to agree to work with you and then to be in the locker room and yeah, you sit down and you shut up and you listen and you learn. That's a part of the business. We all know that from old school. For those of you that don't know that, and you hear it on every interview, and people say it ad nauseum, but it is the truth, especially for the 80s when I was hanging around from the early 80s into the late 80s. It took me 10 years to learn the business that way, just from being in locker rooms and traveling and being on the road with all the legends and learning from that era. So there's a lot to be said for that, but it is also the associate time where you're in the hotel, the bar, the restaurant, traveling on the road, the car. They talk about that, and that's where you get to meet everyone. Or if you do a meet and greet, or back here when there wasn't so much pressure to go from here to there, and people were still looking to make money, you could spend time with these guys, and you could talk to them, and you were one of the boys, and they treated you as one of the boys, even though you weren't under contract. You were still a part of the same team, and for them to pass on their knowledge to guys that were never so-called superstars, that's worth the price of admission alone right there, and what you learn in this business. It really is invaluable, whether you're my age or someone who's 20 years old in this business. So I hope that's what I'm conveying here. Here's another big event, not that long ago. Sergeant Slaughter, Team 3D, Bubba Ray and Devon, and our thoughts and prayers are out with Devon Dudley. Is going through some personal health issues, and I've tweeted a couple of things and mentioned a couple of things, and we're 40 minutes here on Chaos Corner, show number 19, and but I do want to because he's a legend and he was always treated me great and been a great person to me. And even if he wasn't, I send out positive vibes anyway. But thoughts and well wishes to Devon Dudley and a quick recovery with your health issues. And his sons right now, both are in AEW right now on Dark. So that's why I implore you to watch Dark, because the Dudley boys may be returning at one time or another. So God bless Devon. Also, the finals of the title tournament here, Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor superstar, unbelievable. Again, the late, great Juan Xavier, Josh Daniels, one of the most technical guys in the pro wrestling world. The legendary hardcore beast, Ron Zombie. Again, another local legend who inducted me into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for New England, Kurt Adonis. Big Daddy, yourself, much more. A special meet and greet with a Santa Claus. Seeing that we're coming close to the holidays, and I want all the well wishes will be on long before the holidays, but you never know, a Santa Claus. So let's show this here, what we have. Another fantastic event. And again, I can't stress enough, most of these were fundraisers and benefits. And for these stars to agree to work with you and then let you tap into their knowledge of the business, that's what you get on this show. And what we bring is credibility, reputability, whether, like, people say, well, it's still one time or 1,000 times. That's what it's all about, and learning from the knowledge, the tree of knowledge, before people say, well, they want to claim certain things or they want to come at you. We'll keep the negativity out of that. Different one thing. Do the research, the homework, and realize what the facts are. That's all I'll say about that. Who belongs where, and who couldn't carry whose jockstrap in whatever industry. But anyway, again, I'd like you fans to see this unbelievable stuff. I'm very thankful for all of it. Here we go. There they are. Bubba Ray, Devon Dudley, Team 3D. Unbelievable. Let me tell you, they're no one to be trifled with. And there he is. Considering the WWE just did the tribute to the troops, the old Sarge. I've had so much interaction with Sarge. He's another one who follows me on social media. We have interactions, and a great guy. I even got choked out locally here in my own area by the Sarge when I was with Ron Zombie and took the Cobra Clutch. A nice connection there. So you could see, learning all the other stars, and I don't know, my name might be on there somewhere. You never know, but I just like for you fans to see this. It brings back goosebumps and chills to the GOC and memories from the career. So another great show. What else do we have here? We also have, from the previous year, I believe, also on the same event, AJ Styles. Again, look, you're going to see how differently he looks. This was when we were in the feud, the running feud of Team 3D, when they were the NWA Tag Team Champions against the OCK, managed by yours truly. But check out AJ Styles on this, fans, on this poster. There he is. Check out AJ. Wow, what a difference now, huh? That's how long. We go back like a recliner, like 8 tracks. No, I'm not saying he's my boy. But again, to my point. So these aren't that long ago. You're talking 07, 06. Not that long ago. Here's some nice clippings that we want to get into here. I see my boy Vic Delicious, Hale Collins. I see Romeo Rosselli from the Heartthrobs. Local newspaper clippings that one of the guys brought in here from the Observer. I believe this might have been 2007, 2008. So let's just take a look at some of the highlights here of the local media. Michael Sane, Frankie Arion, the different fans. Good stuff here, guys. Yeah, yours truly, even with he still had the long beard. I had like 16 different braids. Let's check out the sports section here of. I do appreciate it. Trust me when I tell you. Here we go. What do we have here? There he is, Romeo Rosselli, always in great shape, Rosselli. You can't beat it. I got to tell you, there's the Guardian of Chaos. You could see closely the beard there. I was probably about 300 pounds there. Some of the a ladder match that night from the local press that was there covering the event. I believe it's Juan Xavier. There's members of the Now. Check it out. It's nice to have the local coverage, to be able to cover the local independent scene, and to have everyone there. The crowds back then for the locals and the independents, drawing well over 1,000, a couple of thousand people, and this is not that long ago. So we need to get wrestling back and live crowds back. We really do, fans. Here's Michael Sane, who was under my tutelage at one time, an unbelievable guy who's literally kicked the shit out of everybody from the Monster Abyss to Jerry the King Lawler in our times. So unbelievable. The fans, back when look, the fans were crazy. Oh, it really was good stuff. I appreciate everyone bringing this stuff in here. It goes by so fast here. What else do we have from local events? This was with Tommy Dreamer, Kurt Adonis, Romeo Rosselli, Joey Mercury, Big Daddy, Michael Sane. A lot of different things here locally that comes out in the media that used to cover and would still, I would think, would be covering and selling the business. And this is what we've all lost, and sports has lost in this country during the pandemic. What's going on, social justice, all of it has ruined sports and made it not the distraction and the entertainment value that we think it is, and it's supposed to be in our escape. Let's be honest. So some more clippings. Some great stuff. Chaos is in there somewhere with Tommy Dreamer. There's Kurt. Beautiful drop kick. I got to tell you, for as much as I love doing the live reviews of the current product, I love doing the memorabilia stuff. I was on another website that people with Dusty Rhodes, Jerry King Lawler, Mick Foley, Christian Cage. This night, we had a big event. It was for the NWA World Championship. It was Billy Kidman and Christian Cage, which led into the next night because it was a double shot weekend. The legendary Yale Bowl, which I haven't really talked about all that much, and I'll show you the card event for it and what happened on Thursday at the legendary Yale. Say that 3 times fast. Thursday at the legendary Yale Bowl, back when yours truly was involved and lucky enough to be involved in the history at Yale Bowl. It's something that I appreciate for the history, not for my part in it, but just that I was able to have for my own knowledge, my own legacy, my own history, and being involved with it. So, again, you see Foley and everyone up on top. Again, this was for Northeast Wrestling, Christian Cage, and the show that we were on, which led into the next night at the Yale Bowl. Okay, we're looking back. This is in 2006, not that long ago. There was a game between Yale University, obviously, and one of the Ivy League opponents, and at the legendary Yale Field where the Jets and Giants played back in the 70s, and a lot of people remember that, and the legend of the concerts, and I know I use that word all the time, of the early 80s when the Eagles performed there, and Journey and the Beach Boys. And what a venue, and a historical venue it is there at Yale. And then, of course, in 1981, who'll forget the unbelievable baseball game at Yale Field between then St. John's, Frankie Viola, who went on to be an unbelievable pro, and, of course, Ron Darling of my New York Mets. And they both played for my Metropolitans. I've been over a 40-year fan. To come on there and perform on that field, I believe even Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Bush One, I believe they all played on that field and spoke on that field and gave legendary announcements. So to be a part of that history and that lineage, which means to me more than anything, success, money, fame, fortune, and I say that all the time, so I hope that comes true. So in the third inning, to get on with the story and wrap this up with a little bow, It was against short sleeve Samson and Little Killer again in a handicap match. They need me to step in and grapple. So it was Thirsty Thursday, which means everybody's got nickel beers or whatever back then. It's not that long ago. They drew a good crowd. I came out in the third inning and I addressed the Babe Ruth speech, Lou Gehrig, Ronald Reagan, Frank Viola, Ron Darling, everyone just to be on that field and put that speech in there was unbelievable. And then after the game, to be able to wrestle the crowd, yeah, they were half in the bag, the history, the lineage. I get it. But the one short people, midget, little people, I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't give a fuck. Jumps off the top rope, out, I catch him, roll him in a ring, Little Killer, catch him, load him in the ring, short sleeve, catch him, little in the ring. Unbelievable. I don't think it was half Nelson, not full Nelson, half Nelson, midget. They get me in the ring on top of each other like in a chicken fight. Opposite corner goes the Guardian of Chaos. Now I'm like 300 pounds then. Short Sleeve does his legendary The Worm, a la like Scotty 2 Hotty did in the WWE days. As they splash me in the corner, I go down like a sack of potatoes. The pin, both of them on top of me, both midgets on this 300-pounder. The 1, 2, 3, the crowd erupts. Let me tell you, it was an unbelievable night, and just to be a part of that history. So I hope that didn't go on. I wanted to explain that to everyone. What a great story and a memory for me not that long ago. Now, remember, this is to a guy at that point who's, what am I at that point, in my 40s? Early 40s? So to be able to start out and have this dream as a little boy at 8, 9, 10 years old, backyard grappling in the 70s before anyone even knew what it was, of my legendary hookup with the Samoans in the early 80s through my days as a doorman and a bouncer, and then to walk into the Quest facility a few different times and to not make it there, and then to come back and travel with WCW and my boy Len. I appreciate it, and with the Samoans and the whole 9 yards. And then to make my debut in '92 as the transition into the manager and the Guardian of Chaos, and then the success in the middle and late '90s into the early and middle 2000s, and now here. That's why this is fun. That's why I'm back. That's why, I'm not active. I did a live Chaos Corner with Hall of Famer Bob Backlund from the World Wrestling Federation less than a year ago. But, I've said it before, retired and come back, more times than Terry Funk. The Undertaker, it's a lot of fun as an independent guy who, again, my moniker was the most well-known unknown. That's why this stuff is so important. I hope it comes across. That's why this show is different. Blame the fans. Don't blame me for this. Again, what a night. Those certain events. We talked about certain things. Here's another one, and because I've had interactions with him recently on Facebook Live and on Twitch. Again, I'm not big on Facebook. Again, I even deleted my account. With the Patriot, the original Patriot, Del Wilkes, from Wrestling with Anything But podcast. But I also worked with another man, the Patriot, a.k.a. Salvatore Sincere, Tom Brandy. And I guess there's maybe some heat between Tom Brandy and Del Wilkes, who I consider to be an unbelievable patriot, unbelievable American. I watch him every Sunday night on Facebook Live. Oh, actually, Twitch now, because I'm on Twitch. The hell with Facebook and the censorship. But I watch Wrestling with Anything But podcast and Unmasking the Truth with Del Wilkes and Avi Klein. And that's a man like myself, a true patriot that tells it like it is. But here, against with Big Slam Vader, and this was for either ISPW, NWA Superstars. I don't know if it was under Corluzzo, Brody, Gino Caruso. I'm not sure because I worked for them all. But here we go, the Patriot, as I locked him up again, local footage in the media all the time as I was. Again, the most well-known unknown against the Patriot. But again, the Patriot or no? Will the real Patriot stand up? And I believe it to be Del Wilkes. I've asked him about this when I was on Facebook. But here it is, fans. You decide for yourself. There's the GOC choking out the Patriot. You see it. Let me give you that. I don't know if you could read the footage there. Okay. I say Tom Brandy, Sal Sincere, great guy. I respect him. He was always great to me. He is not the real Patriot. And we'll get to the bottom of that story. But again, Great footage by the fans. I appreciate them bringing it up. It's nice to be featured locally, because then with that recognition is what you use to give back to the community when you volunteer for autism or kids with cancer or Camp Rising Sun or Wounded Warriors or our veterans, as I continue to wrap myself up here on show number 19. So that's why to see yourself on these posters and with these superstars gives you the rub for you to be able, on a local level, a small level, semi-celebrity status, to be able to use your influence to give back to people, to raise money, to bring awareness, to use your celebrity status, not like these Hollywood elites, these blue check marks. You don't use it for negative, you use it for positive, because people aren't here meant to idolize you or look up to you. But if you're a person of influence and you lead by example, that's what you do. And that's what the Guardian of Chaos Big Daddy does. And that's why I'm no longer associated, as you can see, with the big time groups and outfits or the famous people or the major leaguers, so to speak. What do you see here every week? You see me doing me by myself, going out to certain people that I listen to and put people over and stuff like that. But do you see why? Not only because of the pandemic and the BS going on, and I am a lone wolf, but because this is what I do. I give back. It's about giving back. It's not about always having a job or money. It's about being a man of your word, a man of promises, saying what you're going to do and doing what you're going to say, and not fooling people. So this is what I bring back, and this is why I do this. And you see me in the setting that I'm in. Believe that, and I thank you for it. As we move on, another huge night, the Samoan Dynasty. I talk about them all the time and the influence they've had on my career back from 1983 to here in 2020. And I'll never forget the nights and the runs that we had, but one night in particular and one big weekend, myself, Umaga, and Rikishi doing the dance against the legendary Haas brothers, Russ and Charlie Haas. God rest Charlie's soul. Unbelievable, Russ's soul. The Haas brothers were unbelievable. They were new at the time. They were so benevolent and so generous, as have been the Samoan Dynasty to the GOC his whole career. They've always given me the rub and always put me over, even back to the legendary SST, Rikishi Fatu, and Road Warriors incident back in the late 80s with WCW, which we've talked about. Here's some great pictures and memorabilia for your fans. We're less than an hour. We're not at an hour yet. I could go on with 10 episodes for this stuff of my career. There it is. Umaga on your right. Rikishi and the GOC. As you can see, this is from the old site that fans have kept and given to me. Doing the dance. We go up to the next part. Rikishi was unbelievable. Again, fans, unscripted, not cut out, not edited. This is the real deal from the archives, from what fans had and saved. This is original stuff. Too bad, if eBay, I'm always watching these virtual signings and stuff. Boy, let me tell you something. I could make these people a lot of money with the stuff that I have, including all the footage that you're seeing on the North American Wrestling Alliance, everything you're seeing on YouTube, and all this different stuff of the legendary shows and the Slam Jam and all the stars and what's coming up with Jingle Brawl and Tony Capone and the North American Wrestling Alliance and all that classic footage. Yours truly, from my personal library, my personal Chaos Chronicles, because I was involved in everything as the commissioner, and hopefully that stuff will be returned to me sometime soon, because that is my personal footage. Chaos Corner, Chaos Chronicles. You see the legendary stuff that we've been associated with, so I'm glad the NAWA is getting personal use out of it. They've made some beautiful clips, although I haven't seen myself in any of it, so I'm waiting for that return, Godfather. I'm waiting for it. Again, we have some unbelievable stuff here that people have saved. Some of this stuff didn't come out clear that they had, but I'm going to show some of it. Here's myself. You've seen them on WCW, on Thunder, on TBS Saturday nights. They really were in big impact. They used to call them the Stiffy Twins. I love them. Dean and Dave Power, the Power Company, one of the tag teams that I managed. We held more titles than you can imagine. True professionals. Dean and Dave, the Power Company, with yours truly, the Guardian of Chaos with the Twins. Power Company, they were always good. Old school workers, worked very light. Dean and Dave, great guys. Did a lot of appearances with Dean and Dave. Some good stuff. And I can't appreciate you guys enough. Here is my boy Eddie wreaking havoc and Roughhouse Ralph Mosca, two of the toughest son of a bitches. And then, of course, myself with Junior, a.k.a. Rikishi Fatu. Look at how handsome the two of us. And see if you could tell who's in the background of the photo with Rikishi, who is a legend. The Guardian of Chaos, who isn't a legend, but a legend behind my shoulder. So here is... look at Roughhouse Ralph and wreaking havoc. Eddie and Ralph, unbelievable. Two unbelievable grapplers. Again, fans, personal footage. Somebody jizzed on it, spilled on it. I don't know what the fans did on this one. Myself and Rikishi, again, what a photo. You've seen this before. Who's in the background there? There he is, Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. Again, this is when you network. This is when you appear. This is when people get to know you. This is what you know what's going on. And people agree to work with you, and they're nice enough to pick your brain, let you pick their brain, talk psychology, exchange stories, emotional storytelling. That's what it's all about. That's what the business is all about. I can't stress it enough, fans. So, we're over an hour here. It goes by so fast. Some more unbelievable photos. Again, former foes, now friends. At least I think so anyway. Devon Dudley, our prayers and thoughts. I'll say it again. Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, Devon. He still kayfabes me, Bully Ray. I'm busted open Ray. But I love you anyway. Here we go. I came in the hard way on this night. This was for that series of the NWA titles. The Guardian of Chaos flying through the air with Devon and Bully Ray. Not one of my finer moments here. Devon and Bully Ray, the GOC. I was 300 and something pounds at that time. This was one of the nights that Bully Ray said to me, geez, could you jump a little higher? Come on, you got to jump. And that's why the comments from Bully Ray, we always take them in fun. And I've listened and learned, but great stuff there. I may have showed these before, but I'm going to quickly have them because I have them here. The fans are rotating them in. Mike Tyson's bodyguard from Oz. There he is. Again, I get it. I understand. Brothers in the HA. President of the HA at one time. Tyson's bodyguard, HBO Oz. Sons of Anarchy, Chuck Z. That's one of our photos, one of events. We worked a couple of events together. Madison Square Garden. There's the photo that's been out there. Myself and Bruno Sammartino, commissioner of the North American Wrestling Alliance. Charity King Lawler. Boy, let me tell you, the GOC looking pretty good there, right there, huh? X-Pac. Sean's always was cool to me. We only on, I believe we did 2 shows. Cool to me, talked to me, recognized me on social media. Brother, I appreciate it. And again, like people have said, oh, it's once, twice, a handful of times. You're missing the point of the knowledge, the exchange, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, and what you get to learn from people that have been there, did it, done it, had it. That's what it's all about. Here's another that's hanging up behind me that I've addressed a few times. It's been written about in Justin Roberts' book. I'll probably end it up on this, seeing that we're over an hour. I didn't think we would go this long. I was lucky enough to break bread with The Rock back in the early 2000s. The Rock, we made a couple of appearances together. Very nice, very generous. Was so humble. Agreed to let me pick his brain about different things, from the eyebrow to the business to even interviews. And we even made an appearance together. It's in Justin Roberts' book, chapter 4 or 5, where he mentions yours truly. But here is something that means something to me that's actually from my personal collection from 2004, I believe, when we appeared at a Bally's in Brooklyn. Tilden Avenue, 2163 Tilden Avenue in Brooklyn. Bally's Total Fitness. Again, the first 5,000 people in there got a free color pre-autograph with the photo on The Rock. We got a chance to sign autographs together, walk out to the ringside together. Justin Roberts never got a chance to interview him. But again, we were to AWA Superstars, the World Wrestling Zone, and The Rock was there for the Bally Total Fitness, and we were fortunate enough to ride on the coattails. Here it is. Check it out. I love it. It's just what it's all about for the GOC. Some good stuff, man. Look at The Rock. Look at him back then. and then for me to circle around years later and to see him at Kowloon's in Boston, the infamous restaurant, well, not the infamous, the famous restaurant, Kowloon's, unbelievable food and drink, and sucked back a couple of Scorpion Bowls with the Dudley Boys and Rikishi and Jericho and Edge and Christian and Lillian Garcia and Ivory. What a night we had. They shut down Kowloon's after the Boston Garden. So we circled around from this event in 2004 to there in 2000. There's the Bally's Fitness. What a day, what a night. And again, we hooked up again after that a couple of times. We even took a brief limo ride together. And just to be able to joke, he had a sense of humor. It was myself and Ivory, excuse me, Lillian Garcia, The Rock. What a time, and everybody treated you like family. So it really was different, and this is when you were close. You thought you were, you thought you were there. You reached the mountain type, even at that point. So if this is 2004, I'm in my early 40s. So even at all that time to still be relevant. And that's why I can understand why a lot of the old timers stick around, whether it's an AEW, and I can understand why they do, to still get the rub, the payday, it's the love, it's the passion, you're still in it. Fans, I have so much here that I'm not going to be able to get to, just even in memorabilia, that we're going to have to save for show number 19 or 20. I've tried to do this before, but this is why I started these podcasts and these shows on my own, by myself. Don't have to answer to anyone, to get the people in here that I respect and enjoy, and to be able to freelance out with other people. This is why I do it. I have so much stuff here at Chaos Corner and a career and relationships that span 30 and 40 years that I could do shows for the next 10 years, one a day. So that's why I appreciate you all being here. This is what I enjoy doing, giving back to the public. And it's about the fans and the fellow content creators and staying positive and being together. And this is what it's all about. And I hope you truly enjoy this, because I enjoy bringing it to you. We're here for show number 19, live to tape, same day coverage. I'm going to throw this right onto YouTube. Like, subscribe, put it out there. Let's get some live chats going. Again, a shout out to JD from Off the Script to being here. Since I can't get on your show, JD, I'm going to bring you on to Chaos Corner. And a big shout out, my favorite show of the week is your AEW Dynamite reviews with the Chi-Town Smark, my boy Jesse. So just a big shout out to you guys. Continue to follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, especially on YouTube for Chaos Corner, on Parler, on Rumble, on Gab. Hit me up on all those social media platforms. I can't thank you enough for being here. We're on a couple of times a week. We're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to give back. We're going to make it about everything current pro wrestling and my personal history in the world of professional wrestling. This is your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. Show 20 is right around the corner. Don't you dare miss it.